Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the G Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another great episode of the J Lounge. Of course, everyone knows out there the J Lounge is a celebrity-based podcast show where we talk with actors, directors, writers, poets, you name it. As per norm, I'm very, very excited to be introducing my next guest. She is here to talk about her poetry, which she just wrote and will be publishing her first poetry book. I am very excited to be for her to be talking about it and to be talking about her love of poetry. And I know you guys will definitely embrace her. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Anahi Carismo. Hi, Anahi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I'm very excited to kind of dive into where this passion for poetry came from. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire the first question at you. And yeah, I want to know where did this passion come from?
Well, I've been writing for a long time. I've been writing since I was about 13,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
31 now. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah. Um, it was mainly just a way to survive, like my inner world. Before I had a language for like trauma, intuition, or emotion, really, like I had words,
Yeah.
and poetry became the place that I would be able to tell the truth without, being interrupted or corrected or misunderstood. And it wasn't really like performance for me, right? It was just about clarity and about release.
Wow. Yes. And I love that. I love how you said you had words for what you were going through, the trauma, all of that. So I love how
Hmm.
you wonderfully expressed that. And that really goes into my next question. Um, Name three people who influenced your career and why.
Well, first, definitely my grandmother, my abuelita. Um, so she was a teacher. So my whole life she would just give me so much wisdom, and education was a very big thing. So I couldn't really run away from that. Um, she always taught me to also lead with integrity,
Yes.
and yeah, so that really translates in my poetry. Um, I would say also my younger self.
Oh,
Writing
yes.
became sort of like a promise to her to so that my voice wouldn't disappear, you know?
Yes.
And I wouldn't say anyone like specific, but just artists who really choose like depth over popularity and like who show that it's possible to create with like diluting the truth and again lead with integrity. That's a very big thing for me.
Yes. Yes, I love your choices, especially your younger self. That to me is powerful. I've asked this question to many people. This is the first time I think I've heard someone say their younger self. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Because your younger self was dreaming of this moment, was thinking about things like this, of writing poetry, putting, words to paper, and now you're doing it. So
Yeah.
that's oh,
Well, I mean, I don't think my younger self even thought that I would be expressing myself this way, but
here
it's
you
definitely
are.
like yeah, here I
Here you are. Yes,
am.
you gotta love it. Here you are. And of course, grandmother always gotta give props and respect to the grandma. They are the backbone of any family structure. So, leading with integrity, that's something I always try to lead as well. So I'm glad she instilled that to you because that's really important. Leading with integrity is very important, especially
Yeah.
since we've seen the decline of integrity. So it's good to still have that.
Yeah.
Going, going on to my next question, I want to know, describe your poetry style.
My poetry style would be, I would say intuitive, very intuitive. It's raw, symbolic. Um, I would say even emotionally precise. I have a way of like really getting exactly to the point of expressing sort of like somatically how my body feels.
Mhm.
And I feel like my work lives in this like intersection of spirituality, memory, and the body. So it's not like ornamental, it's very intentional. So I write to reveal myself, not to decorate.
Ooh, That's a powerful saying right there. You write to say that one more time. Actually, I really like it. One more time.
I write to reveal, not to decorate.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I want my audience to take that in. That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. And I love how you express it that way. And I really hope that, my audience really takes your poetry once they start to read it into heart. And hopefully they feel the same way as well. Going on
I
to,
hope so.
uh, Going on to the next question. I want to know for first time
Mhm.
listeners or readers of your poetry, what poem would you suggest they listen to or read to understand who you are as a poet?
I would say Soulless Men. So it's a spoken word. It captures my voice clearly, my boundaries, my emotional intelligence, my refusal to romanticize what harms. I think that it's very honest, but also restrained, and it's very unapologetic.
Ooh, I highly encourage my audience, make sure you go and check out and read Soulless Men to really understand who Anahi is as a poet. And definitely check out more of her work as it comes along as well. Speaking of your work, Anahi, I want to make sure my audience keeps us with you and your work. Where are you on social media?
Yes, so primarily I post a lot of my poetry on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. That's where I share poetry, spoken word, spiritual reflections, and I'm also working towards like long-term projects that are going to live beyond social media. But we'll get there.
Excellent. And of course, I highly encourage my audience, make sure you follow Anahi Carisimo on Threads, on Instagram. Just make sure you follow her, you give her poetry some love, give her support, because we definitely want to see more of her work.
Yeah,
Going,
I'm under my
yeah.
poetry is under actually Akari dot poetry, so it's ACARI dot poetry, as well as Sweetness and Solitude.
Ooh, love it. Yes. Please follow those as well. Like I said, we want to hear more of Anahi's poems, so make sure you guys definitely follow her. Going on to the next question, what future projects are you involved with that you can maybe give a little dish about to the G Lounge audience?
Yeah. So I'm currently compiling a poetry book, um, developing also a few spoken word performances, and I'm working on interdisciplinary projects that blend like poetry and visual art, spirituality, like I said. So I'm slowly working towards building a body of work that's meant to last. Um, so yeah,
Ooh,
it's the book that's next though.
ooh, I'm excited. Make sure to keep us here posted at your lounge as that book comes along.
Of
We
course.
definitely, yes, thank you. We definitely want to know more about it once as it continues to progress and any other projects that you got going on as well. We want to get some updates on that so we can, you know, definitely give you support and make sure my audience gives you support as well.
Hmm.
And going on to the next question. What goals, I mean, do you hope to accomplish in your career that you haven't yet?
Well, to publish my work um, in a way that it maintains its integrity, to perform poetry in very intentional spaces, to create platforms where like depth and healing and art are valued and not rushed. I want to create safe spaces, artists who champion other artists, and I'm trying to be a little bit more out there with my voice, like my physical, actual voice.
Hmm.
So spoken word, that's on the list as well.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
it's a lot
yes.
more raw.
It is. It is. But I love spoken word. So
Yeah,
definitely
it's
keep me
incredible.
posted on that. Yes. I would definitely love to hear you dabble into that. That would be really great. That would be really great. Um, Going on to the next question. Can you name three poets who influenced your career and why?
Sure. So when I was younger, it was definitely Edgar Allan Poe. That
Oh,
that might be
yes.
one that a lot of people, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes,
Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
so dark and eerie, and just for the psychological depth of it and the courage to explore like darker corners of the mind. So he was a big one for me. John Keats as well for like sensual imagery, like emotional vulnerability, and just devotion to beauty. And also he was very melancholic as well.
Yeah.
And I would say my favorite would be Alejandra Pizarnik. So she was this Argentinian poet who she had schizophrenia, and it was just incredible to read her work where she would kind of be fragmented, but you could still find like such beauty in her work, and it was such it was so raw and like fearless intimacy with like pain and silence, and I saw a lot of my own like self in her writing. I think has to like touch on the trauma sort of thing, but yeah, her writing I would suggest if you haven't heard of her to check her out.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Of course, Edgar Allan Poe has always been my favorite. Have yet to read or seen a poet that can really capture death and sorrow quite like Edgar Allan Poe. So
Hmm.
I okay, so you know exactly what I mean. Perfect, perfect. Because he just the way he
He's the
captures it,
Dark King. Yeah,
yeah, yes. It's just in a way that I feel like modern people just can't just get that dark. He was on a different level.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, different
and
times as well.
different times as well. You're right. You're right. That also helps in writing as well. Um, so absolutely, absolutely. And the name of the last one, what was the lady? How you say the name for the last person that you?
It's Alejandra Pizarnik.
Yeah, I want to check
Yeah,
out. Yeah, their
yeah.
work.
She had a very like surrealist way of writing. Um, what I found really cool about it was, so she was a part of a group of surrealist writers, and they said that she had a very unconventional way of writing. Sometimes she would write her poems backwards.
Ooh.
So, which is interesting because I sometimes do that. Like in poetry, sometimes somebody can like sort of channel.
Mhm.
Like I can write a poem sometimes in less than a minute. It just absolutely flows out of me. It doesn't even feel like it's me. And I kind of already know exactly what the end is going to be. It's like this undoubting knowing, and I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know what I'm about to write, but I already know exactly like that last line that's going to hit, and it feels like I'm writing like backwards towards it.
My goodness.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, that just gave me chills. It did. It did. That just gave me goosebumps in the
Okay.
best way. It does. Oh my goodness. Just got chills in the best way. Oh, all right. I just got a couple more questions here for you. Going on to the next one. What other passions do you have outside of poetry and writing?
So visual art, definitely. Music, psychology, um, tarot, spiritual study. Um, it's all of them inform my poetry. Nothing really exists in isolation for me. So I just dabble in all at the same time, sort of thing. I bring everything in to mix it, sort of.
Oh, I love it. I
So
love it.
just
Especially
overall art, I would say.
yes, overall art. But it's good though. It's good. I love the visual arts. I love the tarot readings. I get one done myself. I actually live below a person who does tarot readings. So I love,
Yeah, yeah, I love
yes,
tarot.
I love it. It's just fun. It is fun, and it's creative. It's creative and expressing creativity. So
Hmm.
I love the arts as well. So anything about it, the visual arts, the writing. I'm a big old art nerd, so I'm happy to say that.
And I'm really into psychology and neurorehabilitation and
Ooh,
like art therapy and how art can definitely heal. It's one of the most healing things you could do besides medications as well, obviously.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
art
completely,
therapy.
absolutely, 100% agree with that. Art can be very, very healing, and it
Hmm.
no matter what you're going through, art can just be very, very healing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, my dear, going on to the last question here for you. For
Hmm.
any aspiring poets who are hoping to be just as successful as you, what advice would you give them to navigate the poet writing industry?
I would say right before you're ready. Like, don't wait for permission, and protect your voice more than your visibility. Remember, depth always outlives trends. You don't have to follow what other people say. You should stop caring what other people think. Write as if nobody's even going to read it. Obviously, it's going to be a blessing if somebody reads it, but write as if you're just expressing yourself just to let it out. And don't be afraid of your own voice because sometimes once you start getting into that like space, you can sometimes scare yourself of of your own words, of your own depth, but just keep going. And the more that you do that, and the more you share, the more you can inspire others. And I always say, champion other artists, and it's always going to come back to you.
Yes,
And it's all about expansion, right?
yes,
That's
it
the
is.
goal.
I agree. I agree. And I agree with what you said. Don't be afraid of your own depth or intensity. That's where just the true magic happens. Um, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's very powerful advice. And I really hope that my audience takes that in. Really, really
I
hope
hope so.
takes that in because that's just really wonderful. Um, Oh, Anahi, you have been a breath of fresh air to speak with. I am so glad I was able to get you on my show. I know my audience is really going to embrace you and your poetry. I can't wait to see more work and what you do, especially here in now that we're in 2026.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, I highly encourage my audience, make sure you follow, support Anahi Carisimo on Threads, Instagram. Make sure you follow her poetry. We want to see and hear more of her poetry, so make sure you support that as well. Um, and just give her a follow, right? Because she's just an amazing person. Uh,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Of course, you guys know I've been your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson. I will be back with another great episode of the G Lounge here soon, with more big news and announcements coming up here soon. So make sure you guys keep posted for here for that. Until then, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I thank my guests and my audience, and I will be back soon.